Okay, just happy to have you guys coming in on Life of Leslie. I'm sure there's some familiar people joining and might be a couple of new people. So let's give them a minute or two to join in. And just to recap from Life of Leslie episode 6, which was Janam Samjha Karo with Asha Bhosle ji. Amit Chauhan, good evening. Welcome, welcome. I'm just, before I head off into my own journey, I just want to thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, ये मेरे लिए it's not something I need to do, but I think a lot of people don't know what I really do or what have I really done in the past. You might see one thing, just colonial cousin, but वो story हुआ कैसे, वो life हुआ कैसे. So I think Life of Leslie has been an eye opener to a lot of people. And I have not kept it very complicated because it can be. There is so many things. So today I'm really excited to talk about India's first boy band, and that was such a phenomena that got created that the youth in India just went crazy because they finally had their own rock stars of their own age group. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I think that was an amazing time. So I will start telling you my story. But मुझे लगता है कि this has turned out to be a very very interesting episode, which is Life of Leslie episode 7. Uh, Great to see my smiling face. Yeah, I really don't have an option. Hi Gokul, Rajendran. Hi, welcome. Yazad, the rock and roll guy. Yeah, you seem to be around all the time, so I'm happy you're here. I somehow kind of now expect you. Kisloy Roy. Wow. Uh, I'm trying to conduct something, but it's not always for musicians. It's just for people to know what I have been doing. So today's Life of Leslie is going to be thoda alag. It's going to be very different because it turned out like this. I reached out to the band of boys and I said, guys, I'm going to be talking about you. So do you want to say something? So I expected वो छोटा छोटा bite भेज देंगे. But they've said, I've realized I mean, not like I didn't know, but these 5 guys have put their heart and their mouth on this video clips that they've sent me, and you can see how much they love me, and there's no doubt about that. And उसके लिए I thought कि मैं आज ज़्यादा कुछ बात नहीं करूँगा. I'll talk a little bit. I'll tell you about the story, but let them talk about it and what they felt like, and you'll understand it coming straight from the band of boys directly. So that's what we're going to do. So it was an exciting period at that time because indie pop, all that music was exciting. So there was somebody called Vinod Nair, who was a friend of mine, and he was an advertising person, very talented. He's an amazing guy. He had this idea कि एक boy band क्यों नहीं शुरू करें? Let me create a boy band. So he actually became the owner. Because he initially funded everything, because the band of boys had a very very hard life when they started off. They had to do gym, they had to do sargam practice, but Vinod was the guy who put his money where his mouth was. And not only was he the owner, he was the founder of the concept, and that was his baby. And not one more thing I must say, and a lot of people miss this out, is Vinod is a very fab writer. Lyrics Hindi mein, all the songs on the album, Meri Neend Ud Gayi Hai, Ishq Hai Beqarar, all these songs were written by Vinod Nair. And he somehow doesn't seem to get much credit for that, but he not only is the owner of Band of Boys starting it off, he was the founder and also the lyric writer. So that much out to Vinod. So because he is a friend of mine and he knew that I was a very accomplished producer at that time, I was known for that, my work. He said, "Ek mera idea hai, I want to form this thing, blah blah blah. Will you produce the music?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, Vinod, I'll do it." And so we had the auditions, and all these random singers, and उसमें से कौन क्या क्या, some not so good, some good. How do we select them? Selection process के बाद में, the strange thing happened, which I felt bad at that point, and I don't hold it against Vinod, but he decided to do the album with somebody else. After telling me that I was doing the album and I should be involved with the selection process and everything, and he went ahead and started doing the album with somebody else, which was cool because he's the owner, he's the founder, and he has the right to do what he wants. It's his band of boys. But he had involved me from the beginning, and I was quite involved in the whole concept. And then suddenly he said, like, I heard that he had done the album with, he had started producing the album, wanting to produce the album with somebody else. And strangely, and whatever my karma might be, all the boys refused. They heard that music and they said, no, no, no. You told us it's going to be Leslie Lewis. It has to be Leslie Lewis. And they actually, quote unquote, revolted. And they said, nahi. So then Vinod got back to me and said, like, you only have to do it. And the very first song, and Vinod already had the lyrics written. मेरी नींद उड़ गई है, मेरा चैन खो गया है, so based on his lyrics, I composed the first song, Meri Neend Ud Gayi Hai, and it became a rocking success. It was all over the place, and I knew that जो दिन मैं अपनी खिड़की के बाहर देख रहा था मेरे, हाय अजय, वेलकम, in I saw the sweeper in my compound singing मेरी नींद उड़ गई है, मेरा चैन खो गया, and I'm saying, wow, the songs arrived. So that is how I knew Ki Band of Boys has arrived. So before I keep talking, because I can keep talking a lot, I'm going to introduce you to the boys. And let me first and foremost introduce you to somebody who was in a band called Rubber Band on television. Shekhar Suman had a show on TV, and he was part of that band. And people had seen him on television live, you know, and he has this nice upper-ended voice, and he's always excited about music, and I think that hasn't changed. He's still like that. And he had this friend of his called Rachel, and obviously once he started, we started working together as recording and stuff, and she would land up and he would land up, and they'd actually, three of us would go to a club called Fire and Ice, and that's where all the trance music was happening. And today that place, which was Fire and Ice, is called Palladium Mall in Lower Parel. It's become a mall, but there was a club called Fire and Ice, and this guy, along with his friend Rachel, would, and we go and see Infected Mushrooms, stuff like that. It was amazing. So let me introduce you to the guy himself, still amazing as a person, Mr. Sharon Verghese.
One of the earliest mentors, philosophers, and guides in my life as a musician, composer, and music producer has been Leslie Lewis. Sir Leslie Lewis was, has, and is responsible for the sound of indie pop in our country from the 90s. Sunita Rao's Pari Hu Main, Asha Bhosle's Janam Samjha Karo, KK's Yaro, Pearl, and what have you not. Band of Boys' first album, Meri Neend, Gori, She Drives Me Crazy, Ishq. Third album, Gaane Bhi Do Yaro, Nain Katari, Abija, and what have you not. Colonial Cousins, his own act. Okay, all of these had a resident pop tone, which was very different from the prevalent Nadeem Shravan sound, which was the prevalent Bollywood sound at that time. His sound cut to that clutter. And we got rotations on television meritoriously only because of this sound. He defined a genre for so many people and gave a career to so many artists that if there is a producer of the century award, I would give it to him. This is best highlighted in one of these compositions of his, which is called Ishq, and I would like to give you a jhalak of what he had done with a band of boys, and I hope you appreciate it. For the composition, as well as for the tone of things. इश्क हवे करा करता इंतजार, इश्क है इंतजार करता बेकरार, आ जाओ ना आओ मेरी जान, आ जाओ ना आओ मेरी जान. So this song has an interlude which goes like this. And I'm doing this with a pedal right now, but the demonstration is which I want you to pay attention to, please. Hoo hoo, hoo hoo, hoo hoo. So this whole lush layered harmonies where all the boys do one voice, hoo hoo hoo, and then all of them do together the next voice, hoo hoo hoo, then all of do the third voice, hoo hoo hoo. This whole stereophonic C semicircle with swapping of voices and all of us singing in hoo hoo with controlled voices, that depth, that texture, that grain, that this method of doing lush vocal harmonies, which is the reminiscent sound of a band of boys, is all Leslie Lewis. And this is, he taught that us for life. And it's not that he sat down and he made us, just by his presence, and we've learned so much just by being in the same room. So what I'm trying to say is, from that to this is all because of Sir Leslie Lewis. Everything that I have made in my life is because of a band of boys, and a band of boys is because of Sir Leslie Lewis. Sir, thank you for the music.
Wow. Amazing. And yes, that's the reason I decided कि आज मैं इनकी बातों में आप खुद सुन लो, because what amazing. Hi Jude, welcome. What an amazing feeling they still have for what we did together. And yeah, the electric piano is actually the Virus B, not Cog or Roland, Ajay. So I'm myself amazed कि वो क्या बोल रहे हैं, क्या कह रहे हैं. So I thought, let them speak. And I never didn't think that Sharon is going to start showing you and demonstrating you. I mean, that was amazing, and he's done such a fab job of that. And yeah, you can see how talented they really are, all of them. So moving forward, before the band of boys was formed, Vinod told me कि मेरे पास एक लड़का है, very good looking guy, sings well also. I want to do his album. Okay, so this is the original boy of the band of boys, because there was no such thing as band of boys. There was just a single artist, and he said, I want you to meet him, and it'll be great if you meet him, because you can suss him out and figure out कि क्या कर सकता है, नहीं, what can you do, can't do. So I said, fab. So I had a meeting, and I met this young guy, and he turned out to be like a crazy fan of mine. He knew my music, he knew what I was, and he was just over the moon that he was making his first solo album with me. The moment Vinod figured that, he said, hey, we have one good looking boy, why can't we have 5? And why have one guy? Why not 5? So there went the first solo album of one of the sweetest persons I know. From then to now, trust me, this man hasn't changed. He loves me as much then, and she. I mean, I'm not saying that they have to show me respect, but he does exactly. All of them do. But his sense of sincerity to when I've met him over the years until right now is just the same. So please welcome Mr. Karan Oberoi.
Hi everyone, my name is Karan Oberoi. I'm a part of the Band of Boys, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to talk to you guys about our first guru, our mentor. He's a man who's played many innings in our lives. He was like a father figure, he's like a friend, he's like a mentor, he's our tormentor. He's given us tough times, but he's singularly made a Band of Boys who we are today. I mean, we've learned life's lessons, we've learned music's lessons, we've learned everything that you can learn. I mean, you could have had a perfect start to a career than to have a mentor like Leslie Lewis. Hi, Leslie. This is to tell you that you are so loved by the boys, and you're one person that I have personally been very very fond of. It started off me being a fan of yours because you are the doyen of indie pop music. You're the guy who's created the sounds that today Bollywood thrives on, where indie pop thrives on. You're the one who was a disruptor, the first of his kind, who actually went ahead and paved the way for many artists to be able to express themselves. Because pop music is all about individual expression. For you to be able to say and express what you feel, you're not singing for others, you're singing for yourself, and then you find an audience. And that one person who started this journey with Pari Hu Main, who actually caused complete mayhem and set new grounds in the music industry with his song, and the fact that he was so inventive. One of the things I have always been a big fan of Leslie is the fact that he's someone that is able to make and program a sound that completely meshes in with the artist, the artist's persona, with his vocal timbre, everything. I think you have Quincy Jones in America and you have Leslie Lewis in India, and you can proudly say that he's someone that has really created new grounds in music. And what can I say? We've had great moments, we've had sad moments, we have moments where we've cried. I've had I had some personal issues during the recording of Gori, and I remember how softly and gently Leslie treated me, and how he made me come out of that personal loss that I was going through at that point of time, and helped me find my voice again. And everything that I personally stand today as an artist, as a musician that has been doing music for so long, is completely attributed to Leslie. So Leslie, you're my brother, you're like my father, and you're like my friend. And you're my friend, philosopher, guide, everything all rolled into one. And as a band of boys, I think we were extremely lucky to have someone like you in our lives. And everyone out there, if you get a Leslie in your life, truly believe that you're blessed like no one else's business. With all my love and gratitude, deep gratitude, with all the love, Leslie, this one's for you. Big, big hug. God bless, take care, and keep creating the music, and keep creating the mayhem. This young at heart stalwart of music who's out there, who's a disruptor like no one else. Big hug.
Wow. Like I said, what do? I can just smile and, accept all the love that I'm getting. And I think you get what you give. So that's very true as I can see it. And it's so beautiful to listen to what they have to say about you. I mean, just for me. Yeah, yes, they really love me. Yeah, I can see that. That's why I thought ki aaj Weber, welcome to Colonial Cousins Band of Boys. Yes, so that's me. So it's so amazing to Ricardo Afonso, my friend from Mount Abu. Amazing, you're here. Wow. Guys, a big hand for Ricardo. He's seen me growing from the very first song that I composed in school. He's been one of my friends from then, school days, and he still is. Okay. So going on to, they're all speaking volumes for me, but, it was difficult. And if you thought the Band of Boys sounded great on day one, you can forget it. They, they were just five guys who were like five puppies. Try putting five puppies in a room and tell all of them to sit in one place. I guarantee you, one will run this way, one will run, and two will sit down, and So it was like a young, crazy, fun band, and it was absolutely nuts because at every time we do recording, hey, can we order pizza? And instead of singing, there's one guy doing push-ups. I'm saying, look, guys, we are recording. The studio is booked. You can't be like laughing and joking and running around. To have five puppies, to control them, that took a lot of my energy. So when they started singing, I the very first song was Ishq. Ishq hai beqarar. So that was the first song that we started recording. And it just sounded like nothing on earth. And I said, bro, these guys really have to, I got to bring them out. They've got the talent. I just need to bring it out, but I'm not being able to because there are five people. I'm running my energy around five different guys. And there came a point where I really told myself, I think, Leslie, you got to give it up, or at least it's going to take time. This is not going to happen. This band of boys, they're all very talented, but I just can't seem to get their focus. And I said, okay, one last time. And I think they might all remember that moment when finally the very first line of Ishq hai beqarar, it happened. And I said, whoa, now we got to start. Now we can continue with the song. And that first line that rolled the dice for the recording of Band of Boys was by a guy who was very handsome. I met him for the first time when he came to act, because he's an actor. And he came to act in my video called Lady, Colonial Cousins. And he was the lead guy. And he wanted to sing for me. And he took me aside and said, you got a great voice. You should think of singing one day. And there he was in the Band of Boys. Today, a very reputed actor. Please welcome Mr. Sudhanshu Pandey.
Hey guys, I definitely want to tell you that all the accolades that we get for Band of Boys and how good we were and how well we performed and how beautiful our songs used to be. I must mention that this is the whole credit for all the beautiful songs and the stunning compositions. Goes to Mr. Leslie Lewis, because he was the one who composed it. He saw the potential in us, and the beauty of all our songs was basically he had identified all our voices and the kind of texture we had, and he had designed all the songs and composed all the songs accordingly. They were all written as per our qualities, or I would say strengths, and he made us sing those lines, those beautiful lines, and they created magic, and rest is history. We all know how beautiful the songs turned out to be. And I think Leslie Lewis, and I'm not saying this because he made he composed songs for us, but I definitely want to say that Leslie Lewis is one of the finest music composers that we've had in our industry, and I hope that one day again I get to work with him, and maybe make more songs and create more magic. Thank you so much, Les, and God bless you always. May you create a lot of music and spread love.
Okay, so that was Sudhanshu. And like you can see, they all seem to love me for what I do and whatever they remember. And that's beautiful. Yeah, maybe we'll do a song together. Maybe we'll do an album. Who knows? Post-COVID, anything's possible. Kuch bhi ho sakta hai. So, moving on to the next guy. I met him years ago as a young intern in a live event situation, and then later on, I met him again because I was with Asha ji. There was an American band called Code Red. So I was assigned to get Asha ji to sing in English along with Code Red. So Code Red had come to Bombay, and there was a launch party, where there was Code Red and there was Ashaji and there was me. And then this young guy pops out of the he was also part of the team that was doing the hospitality, whatever. And I said, hey, nice to see you again, because he had already met me before, and he's a very sweet guy. And never did I think that this guy who was helping in hospitality could sing. He was a singer, and somebody who was more westernized in the way he approached music, the way he always like whatever tunes I gave him, he with the band of boys, he's the one who would want to do it slightly in his own way, and that's great because his personality was coming out. And when I figured out at Code Red's launch that he was the grandson of Vasha Bhosle, I said, wow. So please welcome Mr. Chintu Bhosle.
So, what does one say about Leslie Lewis? The man, the legend, the friend, the mentor. That's what Leslie actually is. I first met Leslie actually when I was working at Percept DMARC, and I just finished my management, and I was actually organizing an event and was told, Chintu, you must go and provide hospitality for all the artists. So there's this huge concert we were doing in Delhi, and I had to go to the airport to pick up colonial cousins and get them to the hotel and ensure that all was well. And the thing that struck me about these two gentlemen was, oh my god, like I was nobody. I was just a guy sitting in the car, and ferrying them, receiving them, ferrying them across. And in spite of that 2 hour flight from Mumbai to Delhi, they were jovial, they were laughing, they were cracking jokes. When we reached the hotel, it was like, don't worry about us, we are sorted, we are chilled. And I had a superb impression of, wow, this is how artists should be, never knowing that one day I would be recording with Leslie myself. My next meeting was a far more subtle meeting when I was I had first met my grandma Masha ji at an event where Code Red, the foreign boy band, and she performed with them. And I didn't really interact with him much. But then came a band of boys, and Leslie Lewis was kind of the guy who's going to make our careers and make our songs and ensure that the maximum potential is extracted out of us. So first impressions, we all said, what? And you know how you are when you're young and you're brash and you believe you own the world. So it was like, why? My impression, my reaction was, why Leslie Lewis? Why anybody? We can make our own songs, right? You know what's so great about making a song? And in fact, as an artist, I was into rock bands. And as an artist, we write our own music, we write our own lyrics. But it was like, no, we must go with Leslie Lewis. I'm like, okay. I love Colonial Cousins. I think they are fabulous and they're super fantastic. But we all can write songs. What's the big deal? And so we tried this song called Meri Neend, and Vinod had written it. And Leslie, in the calm, cool, composed dude that he is, like he would sit back and listen and watch and smile and say, nice. Now sing, how about you listen to this and see how this goes? And you'd be like, okay, like, and then you heard what he did, and it was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And slowly, I think in a large part thanks to Les, we got a lot of patience, we got a lot of experience on how to attack a song, how to look at it, different perspectives. So don't tell him, but recording with Leslie is a pain in the ass. like seriously, he is such a perfectionist. He will not ever let you go with a take that he's not happy with, which means we've actually done like 60 takes for a song. Just like an Asha ji who's always improving herself, Leslie too has that attitude of, yeah, I've done it, it's good, and I'm happy with it, but perhaps I can be better. So why don't you tell me if you're happy with this and if I can make it better? And these are the attitude that legends and winners carry. And I'm so glad that I've had gurus in my life that have really, really positively nichoded me and shaped my career. And along with Asha ji, Leslie Lewis bro, mentor, dude, guide, composer. You're one of them. So thank you. Big virtual hug for being in my life. And I really, really wish you like super, super, super success. Much, 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 much more. All right. Bye.
Wow. All magical moments happening now in 2020. Hi, Harshita. Welcome. Yeah, good vibes. That's putting it very simply. It's awesome vibes. It feels amazing. It feels like, life में कुछ तो किया होगा, because if somebody loves you that much, something you've done right. So, um, everybody's telling you what's happening with the band of boys, and it was a fun time. It was crazy, and Vinod had done a very open kind of space, so they were not like a band that was just told you have to do. Yes, what they had to do, they had to do, but they had a voice. They could say what they wanted. And so when we were doing the auditions for the very first time, we were picking up who's going to be in it, and there was one guy. He just wouldn't sing right. He just wouldn't sing right, and he would never have been considered in that sense. But he danced like a king. He was amazing on stage. His move is, and he wasn't like a dancer like you watch on TV nowadays, people dancing or doing acrobatics or whatever that might be. He just had a body language which had a certain sex appeal that just grabbed you. And the women were going to go for this guy. So he reminded me a lot of an old band called Boney M. There was this guy that would always be dancing. So the four girls would sing, three girls would sing, but he would be dancing. And that dancing was always cool and kind of not regular steps, whatever. So he just attracted that attention. So I said, why don't you take him? He's a good dancer. He's going to get the young girls going crazy, and maybe some boys too. But so that's how he ended up joining the band initially. And he wasn't focused on his singing, he was just focused on his dancing, but he just had a great voice. And I saw this boy work his way up from being on the lowest rung of the singers in the band to working his way up and working hard as hell to get his singing to the top. And at the end, he was one of the top liners. And he just had this fabulous voice, this great attitude, you know, and there's a lot to say about him because he comes from a lineage of musicians. His grandfather was one of the biggest people at his time. His father, Amar Haldipur, is a composer, he's an arranger, he's a great violinist. His uncle, Arvind Hardipur, was my batchmate because we would both be sessions guitar players playing for different recordings. So Arvind and I would play together on many things. And his brother Sangeet also, was part of a band and still is a fab musician. So um, before I bring on Siddharth, because he's such an emotional guy, you'll realize when he talks, he's a heart pouring out types. But that's him. He just he's soulful. But before I do that, I want to bring to your notice something. I've got my guitar here. I'm going to try. I'm not going to sing anything in the true sense, but um, there was a song which which really, besides Meri Neend, Meri Neend was a video, so everybody got to see it. But there was a song that became a very big hit, and there was no video. I mean, the video came much later, but at that point when it became a hit, it was one of the first hits created by radio. Radio created this song, and it just started getting popular, and people would just keep requesting the song, and radio would just keep playing it again and again, and it just became a famous song. So I'll just give you a feel of it. You should maybe go and listen to it, because I don't know the lyrics. I can't remember. तू ही मेरा प्यार गोरी, तू ही मेरा तरररर, तरररर, तू ही मेरा प्यार गोरी, मेरा प्यार याद है वो नदियाँ किनारे. So not only were we doing upbeat and dancey stuff, the Band of Boys were also getting famous for beautiful, romantic, lovely ballads. So this is a song. If you have the time, go check out their first album. Go check out Gori. Also, Gori is another beautiful song. But before I go on, like I said, today I'm not going to be singing much. I'm not going to be talking much. And please welcome Siddharth Haldipur.
Hi Les, hi, how are you? Uh, a big thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak with my experience of your contribution in my life. You've been a great teacher. Uh, I still remember the first time when we were auditioned, and I couldn't sing at all. I know that. I was so bad in my singing, and I was like selected only for my dancing skills. And I remember along the way, during most of the recordings, the way you used to encourage so patiently and so calmly and so politely and lovingly. If anyone even did a mistake or was not practiced, you would be. I still remember you saying, "Hey guys, you can do better." Yeah. Not once did you shout. Not once did you have any word of discouragement for us. All the guys, Chintu, me, we used to really look forward to every recording, because I remember that part where we were recording for Ishq, and I think we used to have the most coziest times recording together, and we were trying to kind of segregate the lines. And we were going back and forth with the song. It wasn't sounding that great in the initial part, and then we were sitting and bifurcating the parts for the band. And I remember you saying this to me. Your dad's going to be proud that you've really progressed in your singing. I don't know about that, but as long as you are proud of me, I am more than grateful. And all the songs that you ever made for a Band of Boys. And this phenomenon is basically created by Leslie Lewis. The guy who gave us songs like Meri Neend Ud Gayi Hai, Gori, Ishq, Nain Katari, and one of my favorites, the last one we sang with you, the last album was Jhoomengi Bahare Ye Nazare, झूमेंगे दीवाने सारे, झूमेंगी ये ज़मीं आसमां. Thanks, Les. Thank you. What a beautiful melody. In fact, all your melodies are great. Your production levels are like world class. It's world class. There's so much to learn from the way you work. There's so much to learn from the music you make. And as a person, you're just a very loving, very generous, and very supportive, encouraging musician that I have met in my life, and I'm really very privileged and grateful. But thank you for really guiding my musical journey, being such a great teacher, and a very kind and sweet musician who always is very friendly and very encouraging to any artist that he meets. And I guess that's all I have to say for now. Les, we love you. I love you. I think of you every time, every show that we've ever done with the Band of Boys. I've always thanked you in my heart for giving us those songs. So the songs that gave us the ability to stand in front of millions of people and be loved and accepted. It's all thanks to your music, the guidance, and the correct tutoring that we as a band receive. And thanks, Les. Thank you so much.
Wow. Like I said, there's so much emotion in this entire episode. episode 7. Um, I figured it's better not to talk and let them talk, because this is, I just asked them to say a few things what they might have experienced. And they've put hi Sindhuja, welcome. It's amazing how they've put their hearts out on the line here, and it makes me feel, you know music. Hi Sadhna, welcome. That music does talk at the end of it. आप हिंदी में बोलिए, English में बोलिए, all that is fine. Music has its own language, and if they can still hear it and if they can still feel it in 2020, then I've done something right musically. And I'm hoping that I keep doing this, and you guys keep following me. Hi Aparna. You guys keep following the music that I will be doing from now on, because um there was there is so much music to come. So the Band of Boys on one side is really like the 90s, and I'm saying 2020s has its own magic, and it's going to come. But I want to thank all of them for actually speaking their hearts out, and that's the only reason I thought I should feature all of them on this live, rather than मैं बोलते रहूं, वही बोलते रहता हूं, वही गाते रहता हूं, same thing. It's the same guy doing the same thing. But it's lovely to kind of um, uh, hi Ajay. It's lovely to kind of hear them talk about it. So I want to thank all of you for kind of supporting this life of Leslie. Like I said, I just do it because there are so many people who want to know. बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं कि मैं लाइफ में क्या किया है, और बहुत कुछ बाकी है अब आज तक आने के लिए. So there's going to be more episodes, and you keep watching out, keep joining me, and हो सके uh, you'll enjoy it as watching it and listening to it as much as I've enjoyed living it. And the music and the journey you don't. I think that's very, very true. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining me on Life of Leslie episode 7, A Band of Boys. और फिर मिलेंगे after a couple of weeks. Thank you.